Hello everyone, Miss Carrie here from Miss Carrie's Creations with another design team project for Bramble Fox. Today I'm sharing a simple linear layout that you can recreate by layering a variety of embellishments on your page. This is a great way to use up some of those leftover die cuts and acrylic shapes you have in your collection. I have this great photo of these three enjoying some time together in the summer, so I want this page to be bright and playful. I was inspired by this I love summer circle on the paper snips and the color of these phrases. So I've grabbed some patterns and ephemera from this Felicity Jane collection. I'm going to be pairing it with these summer accessories perspectives and the Life is Good title, which are going to be great little embellishments to add to the page. This is going to be a simple linear layout with a photo and some smaller elements trailing down the page. I've already added a little strip of pattern paper on the left side, and I'm going to start to figure out where I want the main pieces to go. Now that I know where all the larger pieces are going to be placed on the layout, I'm going to mark these off with a pencil so that I can create a stenciled background. I'm going to be using this stencil from the Bramble Fox box, which reminds me of sun rays, and I'm going to add a little bit of color just so that it peeks out from behind everything. I'm using Distress crayons for this because they give me the look of watercolor, but they have a bit more pigment. I've just scribbled a little bit of color onto my glass board and then added a little bit of water and applied the color through the stencil with a flat brush. I want the brush strokes to show, so this is going to be more of a dry brush technique with very little water. Now I'm just using plain cardstock today, no mixed media cardstock, so I definitely want to keep the water to a minimum. Not only is it going to give me those lovely little brush strokes, but it's also going to keep the paper from buckling up as it dries. Now this stencil is designed to fill the in-between spots. So I'm going to line it up and use a soft yellow color in between the blue rays. Again, I just scribbled a little bit of color onto my glass board and used that flat brush to mix a little bit of water with the pigment so that I could add the color. So I've gone ahead and added all of that beautiful yellow hue, and now I'm going to come back with the soft spruce color and add a few little splatters. Again, I've just scribbled a little bit of pigment onto my glass board, added a tiny bit of water, and I'm just using a paintbrush to add the splatter. I'm going to set this aside to dry, and then off camera I will attach the pattern strips of paper and add a little bit of stitching. So I've gone ahead and attached my pattern paper and ran it through my sewing machine. I have backed the photo with some lovely blue paper, and I'm layering the two tags to the left of the photo. I have cut off the top of the ledger paper tag so that I could see more of that blue plaid tag underneath. I want the title to overlap this a bit so that it doesn't look like it's just floating out there. Now I'm not going to adhere it in place yet because I still need to type my journaling on that tag. With all of the vertical elements on the page, I do need to balance it out with some horizontal strip. One of these is going to be cut at an angle and the other is going to be torn like washi tape. I love the colored dots on the white background with the mix of the plaid layered together here. I've started to put a few of the elements on my page, including the page snips, a tag, and some florals. And I was really struggling to find some balance. I continued to add elements to the page like this little flare piece. Now these are cut from the paper snips. If you're not aware of this, these can be cut out using a 1-inch punch or a 1-inch die. And then you cover it with the epoxy stickers. When you attach those little epoxy pieces over the top, it makes a really cute flare element for your page. Now, I tend to use a lot of florals on my pages and decided that maybe I had too many on this page. I like the ones that are next to the photo, but the one near the title is a little bit too much. So I'm going to remove everything and try to balance this out a little better. I love the yellow color from the stenciling and that little lemon on the flare because they go with the lemon in the drinks and the lemon pattern on his shirt. The ephemera kit has a few bits of fruit, like a lemon, that matches the flare and the shirt. And then there's also this little peach, which matches the camera. At this point, I need to highlight the title a little more and start balancing out my clusters. I'm going to add a label behind the word together, which I cut from the paper snips, and that's going to help the title stand out a little bit more. I'm going to work my way down at a diagonal to that little tag that I added. This is another horizontal piece that I'm layering with the lemon, an ampersand, and some paper snip pieces so that I can bring all of the colors from the title to this area of the page. Now I'm going to go back up to the title and add some more colors and patterns to give it some emphasis. I'm grabbing that sweet little sun perspective to bring in some yellow, and I'm going to top it with a heart that's the same color as the title. So now it looks like these two pieces belong to each other. I'm going to use these photo corners like arrows pointing to the title. These bring in some of that orange pattern to the title, and they're forming a nice visual triangle with the florals and the tag. Now I'm going to focus at the base of the page and add just a little bit of color to that area. I've already placed that peach and the camera perspective here, but I need to bring in some blue and yellow. I've cut apart a pocket card, and I'm going to use the little yellow strip like a label, and it's going to be an anchor point on this page. I'm going to bring in this ticket that says loving, which is going to bring some blue to this area, and it also matches the theme of the photo. And once I layer the camera perspective over the top, it brings the colors from all of the other clusters into this corner. Near the top of the page, I'm just going to add a few more hearts to match the other hearts of the page and another paper snip cutout that says Fun Days in a lovely yellow color. So when you take a look at the design, you're going to be able to see the orange, blue, and yellow colors starting at the top, and then it works its way down vertically to the base of the page. And in each of the clusters, I've been able to add those three colors that are part of this summer design. Now at this point, I felt like I needed some dots or some gems. And I remembered that I had these cute little lemon confetti pieces in my collection. These little clay lemons and pale yellow confetti go perfectly with the other elements on the page, and they really give it the feel of summer. All right, I'm going to add a few more finishing touches to this layout, and then I'll show you the finished page. Now off camera, I took a look at the layout and it just felt like it needed a frame. So I ended up backing this page on some lovely grid paper in that orange color. And this frames the page and makes all of those elements pop. I also added some more stitching to the layout and some twine and ribbon to the tag elements. I love how this page came together with the stenciling, the patterned papers, the perspectives, and the paper snips. This orange, blue, and yellow color combination is not one that I use very often, but it was perfect for a summertime photo. I honestly wish I had added some more stenciling to the background because I love that soft color behind all the elements. I think my favorite part of the page is that little lemon flare I created from the paper snips and the clay lemons. These brought a great summery feel to the layout. If you're one who likes to pin projects to inspiration boards, I have placed these photos on my website and you can grab those still shots there. I want to thank you for joining me for another scrapbook page project. If you have any questions about this page or the supplies I used, feel free to comment below. I hope that you have a wonderful week and I can't wait to see what you create.